Well, hello and welcome back to Cozy Shenanigans. My name is Sheena Peril. I am your host, and today we have one of my patented car vlogs. If you're familiar with my other channel, I tend to do a lot of vlogging from my car, just because I'm not great at vlogging in public yet. However, today there is actually a reason I am vlogging from the car, and that is my mom does not drive. I am her main chauffeur, and today she has several appointments, so I'm driving her around and waiting for her in the car. And I'm going to be working on some knitting and some reading, and I wanted to do a little bit of like a little out and about shopping thing. Because last weekend we went to an antique mall in Fife, which is pretty near where I live, and I found some really great books that I wanted to share with you, some very cozy reads. So I have collected Nancy Drew novels since I was a kid. I always collect the oldest ones that I can find. I've got a pretty decent collection of the yellow covers from like the 60s and 70s, and I've even got a few of the original blue covers from the 1930s and 40s. And while we were at the antique mall, I actually found a cover type that I'd never seen before. So this is a blue cover, just like the original, but it has the cover art from the 60s printed on it. This is from 1969. I'd never seen this combination before, so I went ahead and grabbed it. It was $3, so, or no, this one was $5. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. And this is The Quest for the Missing Map, which is one that I haven't read before. I've already started reading it. I'm about a third of the way through. It's pretty good. I love Nancy Drew. It's very cozy and nostalgic for me. It's not high literature. It's meant for kids, but they're a lot of fun and I enjoy reading them. And the reason I collect them isn't for monetary value or anything like that. It's just because I enjoy the series and I have fun going on a treasure hunt for the older covers. So this one has a little bit of water damage to it. But I am not really bothered by that. I just am happy to have the book. So this one, Nancy is helping her friend Ellen investigate a really creepy house where she's been offered a job, and the owner of the house is kind of weird, but it might actually be connected to a treasure map that her friend Ellen's father has inherited. And there's people trying to steal the map, and you know, it's a typical Nancy Drew mystery, and I'm enjoying it. And I got two other books on that same trip. The first is a Louisa May Alcott book. I love Louisa May Alcott. She is one of my favorite classic authors. I love Little Women, but you don't typically see any of her books in print anymore other than Little Women. And I really think that the stuff that she wrote under a pen name, her adventure stories and her romances, were really underrated. And she had a lot of fun writing them, and they were what kept the bread and butter on the table and paid their rent. But she got a lot of pressure to write more serious works like Little Women because it was seen as inappropriate for women to write adventure stories or these penny romance type of stories. So I'm not sure which one I picked up. I can't remember the title of it now, but I will insert a photo here. It's The Rose something. A Rose in Bloom, maybe? I don't remember. I'm assuming it's going to be one of her more serious works, but I still really enjoy her writing. I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to reading that one. And then the last book that I found, my mom actually got for me as an early Christmas present because it is a Reader's Digest edition of Robin Hood, and I have literally been looking for this version of Robin Hood since I was 13. When I was 13, my parents were buying a dining room set, and we spent like several days in Amish woodworking furniture shops, looking at all the different options. And as a 13-year-old, I was bored AF. So I started looking at all of the like random books they had displayed in their different setups, and I sat down and read this book over the course of several hours while my parents were looking at wood types and ladder back chairs and etc. And it's one of my favorite versions of Robin Hood of all time. I have never found it is an independent binding. I've never even found the volume that it was printed in originally. So I was very, very pleased to find it, and I'm saving that one to read last. So I'm going to be doing some reading today. I'm going to be working on some knitting. I have a sweater that I'm working on for a holiday gift, and I've got to get it done. It is taking forever. So give me just a second and I will pull that out to show you. I can't show you the whole sweater, but here is the sleeve so far. I think well, there's my elbow and there's my hand. So I guess I'm about halfway done with it. I'm working on the decreases. I'm almost done with the first ball of yarn for the sleeve. I had to actually rip back about 4 to 6 inches of this sleeve because I hadn't decreased correctly. So went back, redoing the decreases on it. It's going a lot faster now, but I want to try to finish this sleeve today while I'm waiting for my mom. So I have podcasts, I have K-dramas downloaded on my phone. I've also got K-pop Demon Hunters downloaded on my phone to rewatch. And if my hands get tired, I also have my book. So let's get to work. Okay, it has been about 45 minutes to an hour, and this is the progress we have made. This double stitch marker is where I started. This is where we're at right now. I did have to join in a new ball of yarn. That'll get fixed when I weave in my ends. I've been watching a K-drama called Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, which is really good. It's very funny. But my hands are getting kind of tired, so I'm going to switch over to reading my book now, and I will check in again with you later. And we're back. I am about halfway through my Nancy Drew book. It's one of the better Nancy Drew stories that I've read in a while. The last couple that I had picked up, I was kind of disappointed in them. This one actually has pretty decent mystery to it. I don't have any additional knitting to show because we were in and out of places. We did go over to Home Goods because we had a gap in time between appointments. I wasn't intending on buying anything, but I did find a couple of small items that I can give for Christmas for people that I am not making things for. We really don't have a budget for gift giving this year, so I feel bad about that, but we're doing what we can, and it's just like a small one little item for each person, and that's really all we can manage. But I got those taken care of, and I forgot to take video in Home Goods because there was so much stuff that I wanted to get. They had these really cute balls of decorative twine for gift wrapping on wooden spools and like a nostopin type of thing. Would have been so perfect for crafting. Like, I wanted to buy them just for the wooden spool. I did not need the wooden spool. I have a couple of yarn stands just like that at home, but I wanted them. We're not really doing wrapping paper so much this year because wrapping paper is stupid expensive. So we are going to Sound of Music it and do brown paper packages wrapped up with string. So that's what I'm doing for all of our wrapping this year. And with that, Mom is in her next appointment, so I'm going to go back to work on the sweater and probably going to listen to a podcast. Okay, it is the next day. I don't really have any updates to speak of, but I am sitting down to try and get some more reading done. I would like to finish this book today. I'm about halfway done with it. I also want to make some more progress on the sweater sleeve. The sweater is now so big it will not fit in a project bag. It is just living in the messenger bag I was using yesterday for it, which is fine. Since I did rip back that sleeve, my yarn is going a lot further. I have started the second ball of yarn for the sleeve, but I think I'm actually going to have enough to finish the sleeve this time. Before I was like, am I going to need a third skein of yarn to finish this sleeve? I really didn't want that to happen. If you hear noise in the background, I just started a load of laundry, so that is going right now. And other than that, I'm getting to work. It is currently November 29th, so I've still got some time, but I need to get to work. I thought it might be cool to show you what I keep in this dish. So this is a yarn bowl I got a couple of years ago from my mother-in-law. It's a lovely yarn bowl, but it's actually too small for a 100-gram skein of sock yarn. Like, it's not tall enough, so the lid won't stay on. It just slides right off if I put a skein of yarn in here. So I use it for keeping all my tools, and it lives on my nightstand. So I have yarn labels for what I'm currently working with. I have my tin of stitch markers. I've also got a thimble in there because I occasionally grab this when I'm sewing as well. I've got my good snips, my tape measure, which is usually coiled up a little better than this. And then I have, this is a needle case. This is mostly bent needles, which I don't really use. These were given to me, and I think I'm probably going to end up donating the needles. I am going to keep the case, though, because I really like this tube. And then I have additional yarn needles. I've got a spare cable for my interchangeable needles. These are all of my offcuts that haven't made it into my storage container yet. I just leave them in here and then move them once they annoy me enough, which I'll probably do right now. And then I've got a couple of little patches that can be sewn on. My patches don't really have a good home. That's why they end up living here. That way I see them and remember, oh, I can put that on this project. More random stitch markers that need to go back in the tin. Yes, I have been needing to clean this out and I've been forgetting about it. That doesn't belong there. That was a USB to USB-C adapter. Pins that need to be put away. That doesn't go there. This is some elastic thread that I will sometimes sew into like a sock or something if I need to take in the ribbing a little bit. I've got some spare buttons, just like an open pack that I had. More stitch markers, because I tend to just like find them randomly and stick them in the bin. And they can all go back in the tin now. Okay. Cable stops for the spare cable, for just trying things on. More stitch markers. This was a stitch marker, but I don't like it. It's too long, so I'm going to repurpose this somewhere in my jewelry stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Random quarter that I found on the floor. All the little stuff that I just find around my room ends up going in this container, just so I know where it is. Sticker I have not used yet. I don't know where that is going. But I tend to put my die cut stickers like that with my patches, just because they're like a similar shape, you know, similar purpose. One goes on hard surfaces, one goes on fabric, so they just go together in my head. But that is what I keep in here, and I will demonstrate for you. So this is a 100-gram skein of sock yarn, and you can see it's just too tall. So if I try and put the lid on, it doesn't work. And even if I do a ball instead of a cake, it's still too tall. So that's why I use this particular yarn bowl for tools and notions, because it keeps it handy. I've got it all together. It just lives by the side of my bed, and maybe one day I will get a yarn bowl that doesn't have a lid, or that is tall enough to actually hold a full skein of yarn. So that is what's in here, and now we're going to get back to work. Okay, good morning. It is Friday. I'm checking in really fast because our landscapers are here and it's about to get really loud. But I did just want to check in and see that I have started reading Robin Hood. I was trying to read A Rose in Bloom and did not realize that was a sequel. So I have put that one off, the Louisa May Alcott book I got, until I can get the first book from the library and sit down and read that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this vlog up here just because I don't think I really need to give you a summary of Robin Hood. Like, we all know that story, right? So I'm starting to read this. I'm not very far into it. I'm only on chapter 2, but this is a very lovely edition. I don't think it has ever been read. And this one, the original script is from 1902. This edition is from 1991, and it has this like lovely little booklet inside that tells you about the author and the story and everything. It also, I did not realize when I grabbed it, has some really nice illustrations in it. So I am enjoying it. It's just a very pretty book in general. And I do love me a pretty book. So I'm going to continue reading this, and I will see you soon with another video. Ciao!